Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Smack Raw podcast.
Watch. Okay, well, has this always been a thing? Where have I been?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Smack Raw podcast, SmackDown Recap Edition. We are your host, Kyle Tyson over here, joined by the ever-controversial Mr. RN. What's going on, man?
Let's go, boss man.
Oh, not shit, bro. Just coming down from this episode of SmackDown that honestly we fucking needed after Raw, which was 3 hours of hot garbage.
Facts.
WWE, when SmackDown's good, man, it's great. And I'm not gonna lie, tonight was a breath of fresh air. But it was a good show, man. It was a good show. What was I gonna say? I don't know. We're a wrestling recap show. If you're not familiar, we stream live on Twitch TV/Putting You Over. You can catch us on YouTube.com/SmackDraw Podcast and pretty much everywhere else podcasts are found. If you're into wrestling news websites, we're the official recap show for WrestlingNewsWorld.com. Check them out. A lot of talented writers over there, along with another good lineup of other podcasts you can listen to, like the Putting You Over show, actually, that shares this Discord channel with us. Make sure to check them out. And then lastly, you can always check out our Patreon, patreon.com/SmackDraw Podcast. We got stickers, t-shirts. We'll go ahead and sponsor your show, plug your stuff. There's, I hate to say it, so I feel bad every time I run this. And, oh shit, it's doing the glitch thing again. Every time I run that, I always feel bad because D-Rod is still waiting on his shirts from September. I feel for you, D-Rod. Like I said, I've given a deadline, which is really just the next time I get paid. I get paid on the 30th. I'm going to go to a different person, print off D-Rod shirts while I wait for the other ones to get printed. It's a mess, man. It's a mess. Oh, man. Blowout's in the chat. What's going on, Blowout? Yeah, man. Yeah, that's the Patreon. Check it out. Support us, man. We appreciate it. You'll see Kevin and Katie, man. They got some new LED lights. Kevin's got a ring light working on his lighting. Check it out, man. That's where that Patreon money went. We were really appreciative.
Definitely.
Let's talk about SmackDown.
There you go.
Yeah, man. What'd you think?
It was decent. It was, SmackDown has been, though, ever since Roman came back. I don't think they've had a bad show yet since Roman's been back. So it's time for us to just come to the realization that SmackDown is no longer the B show. It's the A show by far.
Yeah, honestly, that's where I would consider it too. If you compare the three WWE shows, granted, I don't watch NXT as often as you guys do, but I feel that Roman's star power just pushes it over, I think, in NXT, in my opinion.
That is it. No,
okay.
That's it. I mean, that's the only reason. I mean, if it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for Roman, NXT is the best show storylines wise, and they always have the best matches out of all the shows. But Roman Reigns and this new version of Roman Reigns, what he does for that show, I mean, it's the number one show. And I'm the NXT guy, so.
Yeah. That's what it's crazy, man. It's crazy. SmackDown, number one show of the week. That's nuts to think about. Watch everybody leave the Twitch chat now that we said that. Screw these guys. You can't insult NXT. It was really good, man. It was good. There was a lot of development throughout the whole night, where my complaint about Raw was that it was used to water everybody down and not develop anything. Right. For the most part, SmackDown did the complete opposite. It gave you reasons to tune back in between teasing a tag team between Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan. The feud finally is going to culminate between Otis and Miz. You got the character development was Shorty G. You know, Roman's story role has been top notch. Even the Seth and Murphy stuff feels like it's breathing new life by giving pay-per-view quality matches, even though the storyline aspect of all of this is kind of stale. Like, if you tell me that we're going to get matches like we got tonight and they'll develop and become better over time, like, dude, I will definitely tune in for like a best of 3 between Murphy and Seth Rollins, man, even if the Mysterio family is clogging up the story.
SmackDown goes back to being the wrestling show.
Yeah.
That's when it was at its peak, when Raw was entertainment and SmackDown was the wrestling show.
Yeah. But yeah, man, a lot of good stuff. So let's kick it off, man. Let's kick it off. So KO show starts off SmackDown. Daniel Bryan's the guest. Essentially, KO asks Daniel, where do you see SmackDown going? You know, and Daniel Bryan says kind of like what we say about how like the SmackDown 6 were viewed back in the day. We want to highlight the best superstars in the world. He's talking about Jey Uso and Big E stepping up. He wants to see that Intercontinental Championship defended weekly, which I am all about too. I'd love to see that Intercontinental Championship match go on every week. And then they even use this to kind of give us like tease that we got tag teams. Because Kevin Owens starts in on how he wants to possibly form a tag team with Daniel Bryan, because it's the only title that's really eluded Kevin Owens is the tag team championships. I do like the jab though that Daniel Bryan gave. Yeah. He's like, yeah, well, obviously you're gonna have a hard time if you're betraying everybody. So it was good. But it's funny because they reference like hot young talent, and of course who comes out other than Rudolph, 2 of the oldest guys on the roster apparently.
Yeah.
Ziggler, I think, what did they say? Ziggler was referencing, you got to forgive me here, man, but was he referencing like what?
Van Halen, I think this is
Van Halen albums from like the 80s and stuff?
I guess. Does that look like that's my cup of tea of music, or like I was thinking?
Well, I was hoping that you caught, I know they said it in the group chat. I was hoping you
remember. I think it was Van Halen. That's what they said.
Okay. Trying to sound cool and young. Right. Cesaro and Nakamura come out to talk some trash, and you see what they're doing. They're just lining up tag teams, showing off what SmackDown has. Of course, I'm
not mad at it at all.
Yeah, the anointed SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Street Profits, come out. Essentially, just calls everybody old, like you guys are from '94, and then kicks off with a brawl, and we get the night to start off with an official 8-man tag. Dude, it's an ongoing joke, but when are they going to just announce Adam Pearce as the manager? Like, it's so weird.
I'm glad they don't, because he's on both shows, and I feel like if you name him something, then you stick him to one show. But if you just let him be whatever the fuck he is and float, like, I like it better that way, because he gets to be on all the shows. Like, why not?
Yeah. Watch him start showing up in NXT, man.
Just they didn't have Regal. I would be down with that if they didn't have Regal. But
they didn't have Regal.
Regal's dope.
Oh man, I love Adam Pearce. Yeah, he came down with some officials as the brawl broke out.
The thing I want to know, like, was Daniel Bryan's suit like a tearaway suit, like basketball suit? Like, how the fuck was he completely geared up?
Yeah, they said because they cut to commercial during the brawl. Right. They come back, and the commentary team did announce, like, oh, Daniel Bryan changed into his ring gear. You'd have to think it was a tearaway suit. Like that, there's no way that man did a mad dash to the back, changed, and got back out there in what, like 2 minutes? No, it's pretty funny.
I was thinking, did he have his shit under his thing just in case? Like, I was hoping some shit pop off.
Oh yeah, he pulled an Angel Garza, man. He did some gimmick infringement. It was good. The match was decent. I mean, it's an 8-man tag match, and it's no knock on WWE. I think AEW does the big man tag matches best when one of their guys isn't laid unconscious in the ring for a minute straight.
Bringing that up, nobody does 8-man tag matches good. They all fucking suck. It's really not. It's not that they suck. It's that it's so much shit going on. You can't concentrate on what is actually happening.
They can just divulge into spot fest.
Yeah, that's what it does.
It's difficult to get the stories going.
Like you said, but if no one dies in WWE's 8-man tags.
Yeah, they did tell a little bit of a story of Daniel Bryan tweaking his knee, then getting beat down for the majority of the time. I missed the finish, but I know it was Street Profits coming away with the pin.
Yeah, they I forgot how it ended up. He ended up knocking down Cesaro, and he hit this fucking crazy ass touch the rafters fucking frog splash.
Yeah, man. No one does it better than Montez Ford in
Absolutely
2020.
Right.
I'll tell you that. Where do you rank his frog splash amongst the greats?
I mean, people gonna hate, but I mean, it doesn't look better than Eddie's. Like, Eddie's was just so fucking smooth, and he did it for 40 years.
Yeah.
But as far as execution go, he gets higher than RVD. I mean,
RVD was the whole, he could jump far and he could like twist in air.
In which he probably could too. He's done it a couple times where he just completely like shifted in mid fucking air like a.
I want to see Montez do a coast to coast frog splash.
He might jump out the fucking other side of the ring as far as he fucking jumps.
Oh man,
that would be dope. I never even thought about that because I mean, his might be the best. I'm sorry. I mean, I know Vince and them are probably gonna want to kill me for saying it, but it might be the best.
Yeah. Blowout says that Rob Van Dam would sell his ribs afterwards because
that's true too. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Rob would kind of sell. I mean, I want to see. So one thing that I saw is funny is Montez Ford has a huge bounce from his frog splashes. I'd like to see him incorporate a second frog splash off of the bounce. Oh, this is stupid. The faces pick up the victory. Backstage. It cuts to Daniel Bryan, who's celebrating with the Street Profits. The Fist Me Boys. I love that shit. I love how cringy, lovable Daniel Bryan is with his deliveries, man. He's so good.
The only thing about this that I hate, like, I'm tired of fucking babyface Kevin Owens.
Yeah,
like, he doesn't do anything as a babyface, and he's not believable because the whole time he's a babyface, all anyone's talking about is he going to turn on whoever the fuck he's with?
Yeah, because he betrays everybody. Well, this may have shown little glimpses of it because Kevin Owens is back here, but instead of trying to talk to Daniel Bryan, he's just kind of ignored the whole segment and ends up walking off. Yeah, he dips. Zayn comes out, tells Daniel Bryan mind his own business because, of course, it was Daniel Bryan suggesting that Zayn defend his belt weekly. You know,
right?
Yeah. What? So
I agree with that shit, man. The Intercontinental title, like especially when we were growing up, it was the workhorse title.
Yeah.
Like whoever had the Intercontinental title, you knew that they were next up for the world title. You knew that they were going to be wrestling on every fucking show, defending on every show. Like I want them to go back to that.
It's crazy that reports are coming out that Vince has openly stated that no one gives a shit about the Intercontinental title.
Which I mean, that's clear. I'm gonna be honest with you. I forgot Sammy was the fucking champ when Daniel Bryan was talking about it, and I completely forgot that it's not the white belt anymore too.
Well, this is reports coming from nothing too recent, but back when Chris Jericho was still with WWE, I think it was after the Kevin Owens feud had settled. Jericho was pitching going after his 10th Intercontinental reign and being dubbed the best Intercontinental champion of all times. Yeah. And that's where it was reported by Jericho himself that Vince said, no one gives a shit about this belt. And if you think about that and you see how the belt has developed over the last couple of years, you tend to agree that that's probably true how Vince looks at that belt.
Well, that's how he looks at every belt.
Pretty much, man.
I mean, even the Universal and the World, like, he doesn't give a shit about any of those titles. He only gives a fuck about his guys.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Money in the Bank Championship. Look what it's deteriorated to.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. What'd you think of the Law and Otis, of course, the Law and Order spoof, which was, I thought it was fantastic.
it was dope. I mean, I loved it. But again, it just goes back to this is where we're at with the Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Oh, man. So it was a full-on parody. It wasn't just a play on words. They did a whole parody of the Law and Order entrance between like the Special Victims Unit entrance, where they have somebody talking about. I guess like I didn't write it down word for word. It's a complete parody of Law and Order. And
I think that's what he literally said. Like this is not something. This is literally about Law and Otis.
Law and Otis. Yeah.
What he said.
I love that they did like the non-copyright sound effect. They couldn't use the official sound effect. I'm assuming that's copyrighted, so they created their own spoof.
They're on NBC Universal. They should have cleared it. They should have had real people from the fucking show on it. That would have been even better.
How terrific would that have been if some of the characters revised their roles?
Came back, that would have been fucking fire. They had them like interrogating Otis about it and shit. Yeah, look at us giving out ideas. We need to shut up.
There we go. Couple special appearances. You had JBL playing Judge. Farouk was in there as the bailiff, and you even had a surprise Teddy Long. I forget the official position, but it's the person that types down all the types down everything.
Stenographer or some shit like that. I don't know. I could have made that up.
It's kind of odd though. Now that you're in the modern day, you have like cameras and microphones that could just record everything. That's still a thing in the courtroom, or maybe I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
Some of them it is. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, so they did this segment broken up throughout the evening, mainly in two parts. The first part was just the opening argument, which Miz wants there to be more respect and honor brought to this contract. He claims that Otis is neglecting his contract abilities and it doesn't represent the caliber of superstar that should have it. Otis's counterclaim, who also Otis is representing himself, says that he deserves the contract because he won the contract. And even Mrs. Lawyer says that's actually a pretty good argument, and so she's promptly fired. It was a nice little joke. I'm not saying this was the funniest thing in the world, but it definitely got some good belly laughs out of me, man.
It was funnier than that fucking musical on Wednesday night, I can tell you that.
Oh man, here we go. You know, I was kind of upset at you. When you drugged that segment through the dirt because of how cheesy and corny it was, and now we have something equally cheesy and corny.
I didn't drag the whole segment. That's what everybody always fucking tries to make me have to be the Skip Bayless of our podcast. I didn't drag the whole thing. And I love them two together. They are fucking gold. But the actual song and dance part was not for me. It was not I didn't like it.
You're not a fan of the Rat Pack?
No, I mean, I am. Like the steak part, and then even at the end, when the fucking steaks came back raw, and they're like, why did you do that? Now we got to send these fucking back. Like, that was probably my favorite part.
It was a great punchline, man. It was a great punchline.
But yeah, it was just the singing and dancing part. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. It wasn't for everybody. I will admit that.
Oh, the ratings showed that.
Yeah. It's very true. It's very true. So we have Kayla Braxton in the ring. She's interviewing Shorty G prior to his match with Lars Sullivan. This just reeked of when James Ellsworth was interviewed prior to his match with Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
And when I got that vibe, I was like, poor Chad Gable. He has his match afterwards with Lars Sullivan. The only offense he gets in is he rakes Lars's eyes at some point, gets a couple moves in, and then is promptly destroyed. Surprisingly, interviewed after the match, while he's obviously broken in half, he quits. He quits right there on the spot. Back in the trainer's room, however, we get some more clarification because Adam Pearce goes back there. He says, what's this about you quitting? And he goes, Shorty G quits. He's like, Shorty G is done. He's like, I'm tired of being a joke. I'm tired of being a punchline. I'm tired of being the face of you can achieve anything you want. He's like, let's be honest, you can't achieve anything you want. He says, but I know somebody who can. He's an Olympian, state, national champion. He says, Gable can. Chad Gable. Boy, I was happy, man.
My idea, like, as soon as this happened, and Matt Riddle has mentioned it on numerous podcasts, how much he wants to fucking, like, tear the house down with Gable and shit and everything. Like, I wish Gulak hadn't went to Raw. Like, why? I want them to do Catch Point in WWE.
Yeah.
Which, like, it was literally it was a stable, it was, but they fought each other. They challenged each other for titles. They're pretty much like, we can kick each other's ass, but if anybody else messes with us, we're killing everybody.
That's
like
nice.
It was the dopest fucking like heel, but not really heel stable ever. Like I want that, and it was just a bunch of shoot. It wasn't even necessarily a bunch of shooters. It was just a bunch of guys whose style was not your average wrestling style. And like that would be so dope if they could get some different pieces. Like I think Chad, Gulak, Riddle, and a couple other guys, like that would be fucking dope. But I know I'm wishing on a star.
Well, yeah, considering Riddle and Gulak are over on Raw, just getting their edges just sandpapered away. Definitely becoming watered down, unfortunately. Go back and watch the Raw recap, and you'll understand exactly what I mean by that.
This is the first Raw I can tell you I don't remember shit that happened on it.
Oh, I remember all of it.
Like, honestly, no, that's not true. I remember AJ Styles coming out with that fucking fighting.
That image is going to be burned in your head.
Bro, like, he literally was the size of that dude's dick. Like, he could have fit in that man's face.
Oh, it reminds me of that meme. What was that, like that gaming award meme where this woman was presenting this gamer like an award, and he ends up being like quite smaller than the woman presenting to him, and it just got shared all over the internet. And I feel like that's the treatment that's gonna get.
The gist of it.
Yeah, man.
Somebody posted a thing. It was like Frieza and like Captain Ginyu or some shit. They put him in like the dragon.
Saw that. That was so good. Yeah. No, it's really, really funny. I love their dynamic, actually.
I want to see they do something though.
Yeah. Elise Ashton. I had to write that one down. A interviewer backstage with Seth Rollins. He's offended Murphy would turn on him. He claims that Murphy is confused, that the greater good is all of us, and we all have a role to play in it. He says that he is the savior and Murphy is a walk behind her. It's like, it's like, what? You couldn't come up with a better analogy, like term for somebody? But, yeah. So yeah, it's just heading up their match that they have later in the evening, which was easily match of the night, man. It was a terrific match. Yo, how you feel about Bayley's ding dong hello shirt? Yo, it's so stupid.
I don't like any of her shirts, to be honest. I don't think any of her shirts have ever been good. Not
for me. It's weird having heels with shirts.
Right.
You know, you're supposed to not like them, so why would you want to represent them if you don't like them? I think going back to Jericho once again, I don't mean to, but I think Jericho, if I heard correctly, did not want his merch sold while he was a heel run.
Right.
Like wanted all his merchandise frozen while he was doing his heel run because of that. Like it doesn't make any sense. People showing up, supporting you with their shirt and stuff visually. He really tried to flesh out those roles, man. But yeah, so go ahead.
No, I think that's fucking retarded. No, that's absolutely. Why I want somebody buying my shit if I'm heel, face, if I'm on TV, if I'm not on TV, buy my shirts. I'm sorry. I would never tell somebody don't buy my shit. You got me dressed up.
Yo, so Bayley, who's refusing to sign the contract, really expected more out of this. This played out really simple.
Yeah,
she's out in the ring. She's still refusing to sign the contract. Sasha comes out with a chair, attempts to attack Bayley, ultimately does get the better of her, sticks her head through the chair, is wringing her neck, and then Bayley signs, and that was it. It was fairly straightforward and simple. I don't know why it had to be like this, but I guess you just wanted to stretch this out into two segments, I guess.
I guess.
I don't know.
I know Pam got that cake, though. I know that for sure.
Whew. Pam. Oh, yeah, Bayley's name is Pam. I forgot. I was trying to figure that one out. So, the second part of Law and Otis. So this is when they're interrogating the witnesses. You start off with Morrison. He's on the stand. He has suffered emotional trauma. Ray is brought up. Ray doesn't really have much to say other than he's in favor of Otis. Asuka, the highlight of everything that she does, is going off in a rant in Japanese. JBL asks if the guy typing everything out got any of that, and of course, it's
I would not like the Oscar shit because it's so like super 80s racist wrestling. But it's like we can all understand what the fuck she's saying, even though we can't understand what she's saying. Like, you guys know I'm the grumpy old man. I try not to pop for it every time, but I cannot help it because it's like you could literally see like the comic like bubbles, like you know what I'm saying, something like what she's saying, even though we have no idea what the hell she's saying. Like, and it gets me every time. It does.
Yeah, man. Teddy Long's revealed to be the one typing down what everyone's saying, and then Asuka gives a cheesy little impression of Teddy Long himself. I guess what is supposed to be a dramatic back and forth between Otis and Miz was just it is what it is. Not Otis, excuse me, Tucker. Tucker wants to beat Miz's ass too. Ultimately, this all just gets us to the commercial break where JBL needs to deliberate and Teddy Long needs to take a piss. When they get back,
that motherfucking walk Teddy Long does. Like Sherman Hensley fucking moving on up walk. That's fire.
Yo, so JBL says exactly what my argument was, and I'm happy. It's weird. It's in a petty way. I'm so happy JBL at least gave me this one line, which was that his claims or Miz's claims of emotional distress due to, you know, the beatdowns and the attacks and property damage. And he says, that's the life of, it's part of the job, you know, when you sign up for WWE, which I was happy to hear that because, you know, at that point, right after that beatdown, Lars came out and it's like, well, kayfabe, why isn't Miz trying to sue Lars at this point? So JBL looks like he's gonna go ahead and rule in favor of Otis until Miz says, I have some last second evidence. And of course, WWE assumes everybody's very stupid because we get this cheesy cash register sound effect when JBL opens the briefcase and it's obviously a bribe. And JBL rules in favor of Miz, which at first I was panicking because I was like, damn it, that's really lame just to hand over the contract over this court trial. But then they kind of fixed it, you know, saying that he's ordering there be a match at Hell in a Cell for the contract, which you'd have to believe at that point Otis is going to lose. Otis is losing that contract, man. Yo.
I don't want it to be Miz. Like Miz completely lost me after that talking smack with Big E. And anyone that watched knows how much I was standing for Miz and wanted him to get a title shot, but he completely lost me. He did.
All right, man.
He might as well just said all lives matter and just walked off. Would have been better.
With that aside, I mean, it's a very valid argument, but with that aside, does Miz stand any better of a chance with that contract than Otis?
No one does because of how top heavy it is. But if I'm putting away all my personal feelings, Miz, if you're gonna give it to anybody on the mid card, it has to be Miz.
Yeah,
he's been sticking it. He's been fucking toiling in line through all quarantine. He never missed any time. He's been fucking, doing his thing, keep with shows outside of WWE and everything. Like he's one of your top 5 guys, no matter what anybody wants to say or admit it. Miz is one of the top 5 guys on any show.
Man's a workhorse, that's for sure.
He does anything they ask him to do inside or outside the ring. And you can throw him in a main event and nobody's going to be like, what the hell is Miz doing there? That's the key. And like no one thinks about it. No one wants to give him his flowers for that. But if right now, tomorrow, Sunday, we just get done with the Hell in a Cell shit and then Miz comes out and fucking comes at Roman on Friday, nobody's going to talk shit and be like, why is Miz here? Everybody's going to be like, all right, Miz is in the main event. And that's it. And
yeah. You do see rumblings of people wanting him to have another title reign too, you know.
Yeah, he deserves it. I mean, like I said, if that's talking smack had never happened, I'd be sitting here standing for him right now, hoping that he beats the shit out of Otis and they get that shit away from him. But that one thing, it just kind of it made me look at him a whole lot differently. It made me think about him a whole lot differently.
I got you. Personally speaking, I want to see Miz with the Intercontinental Championship, because
Yes.
he's literally less than a month away. If he wins the Intercontinental Championship, he has to hold it for less than a month. It's somewhere around 20 days. And he will have accumulated more time with Intercontinental Championship reigns than anybody else in WWE history. So he will have held in combination that IC title longer than any other wrestler in all of ever since its inception.
Hall of Famer. Like we have to really start coming to that realization and really give that man his roses. He is a Hall of Famer. Like, he's a fucking workhorse inside and outside of the ring. Like, and from what he came from to and what he started out as to what he is now, like, he's a Hall of Famer. Like, there's no, like, if anybody wants to argue with me with that, bring it.
It's true, man. From the real world to the WWE Hall of Fame.
Literally on TV telling people his dream is to become the WWE champion and then becoming the fucking WWE champion. Like,
it is pretty cool, actually. Not gonna lie, man. Not gonna lie. What else we have going on after that? So, you had the Seth match, the Seth and Murphy match, which, I mean, this is just fantastic. These guys so good in the ring. I mean, no surprise, obviously, two of the best wrestlers in all of WWE. When they lock it up, I mean, they can kill it. And you could even still tell they were dialing it down a little bit.
Yeah, they definitely were holding back.
Yeah.
And my thing is too, like, seeing him in the ring next to fucking Seth Rollins, he's maybe a half inch shorter, maybe 5 to 10 pounds lighter. You gonna tell me that man was a cruiserweight?
Yeah, they always said he had to cut like 15, 20 pounds.
You gonna tell me Buddy Murphy is a cruiserweight and he's the same size as Seth Rollins? He's just shorter. Like, get the hell out of here. If that motherfucker was 205, I'm 185.
Oh my gosh. The match is fantastic. I'm gonna save you guys the 30 spots they put together in this like close to half-hour match. Going into the first commercial break, we see a cool back body drop Murphy delivers to Seth onto the commentary table. However, when they come back, I think they had like at least 2 commercial breaks for this match. However, the story was that Murphy, I guess during a dive, hurt his shoulder and Seth Rollins started to exploit it. However, it wasn't all downhill from there. Murphy still held his own, so he leaves the argument that how well would a healthy, uninjured Murphy handle a match with Seth Rollins. In the end, however, Murphy just runs out of counters, man. Seth Rollins had to go for 3 stomps before he even landed one. And he finally takes Murphy out after what is like a fantastic match, which you could just tell like it's like a great match, but you knew these guys had so much more in the bag, which is just makes you want more out of this feud.
I know I said the Lucha Bros match was the match of the week by far, but this is right there with it. Like,
yeah, I'd say that too.
1B, like this was, and I don't think have we had a TV match this long that wasn't a title match in forever, especially on SmackDown.
It's hard to think about one, yeah.
30-minute match, that was a banger too. Like, that's what I said. I hope SmackDown goes back to being the wrestling show, because that was fucking ridiculous. Like, I couldn't even believe it. Like, there was a couple times I looked up, I was like, God damn, this match is still on.
Well, I mean, between that, the teasing with Daniel Bryan and the tag division and stuff, yeah, they're gearing up. I mean, granted, I like to not hold my breath for WWE, but they look like they're gearing up for something like that. During this match, Aaliyah is backstage watching it all go down. Of course, Ray and Dominic are there to give her shit. Let's get out of here. Stop paying attention to this man. After the match, Seth Rollins is pulling out a kendo stick to beat down Murphy. Aaliyah is pleading with Ray and Dominic to help him. They refuse, so she runs out. At this point, how big of dicks are Ray and Dominic for just like, no, go ahead, let her. Let her run out against while there's a crazed Seth Rollins with a kendo stick.
Yeah, let her run out with the guy that took your dad's eye out.
Yeah.
Kicked your brother's ass, gave him 90 kendo stick shots.
No, they were just like, let's see how this plays out.
Yeah.
It's so
let your 19-year-old little sister go out there with this man.
Yo, so
hashtag wrestling logic.
I'm telling you, man. She goes out there. She's trying to protect Murphy. Seth teases that he's going to attack her, so out comes Dominic. Dominic blindsides Seth Rollins. Or no. Dominic comes out and Seth Rollins blindsides Dominic. Starts beating him down. And then, of course, Ray comes out. Ray being just week after week proving to be a terrible husband and father.
Terrible.
Yeah. Ray comes out to finally make the save. Ray and Dominic are arguing with who let Aaliyah run out the whole time, not realizing Aaliyah is dry humping Murphy over by the ropes.
Pretty sure she licked sweat off his shoulder.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. And once again, this story is going to turn out to Murphy standing up to Seth Rollins and then
it's
winning the approval.
It's like kayfabe and like real life, like shoot shit all in one.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I thought I heard something about her like backstage, like they may have been. She was dating someone backstage, and she really is like people's like stylist and shit backstage.
No, I haven't heard anything of that yet. I'm not saying like I'm Dave Meltzer over here, but
right.
hasn't crossed my desk. And then we kick off the main event segment of the whole evening. For one, throughout the whole night, Roman is looking at his meal in disapproval, which, Roman, shame on you. That food looked fantastic. That was like commercial quality food. Like he's got plates, a cheese plate. Man had some fancy dinner. But
he messed those choppers up.
Oh yeah. You think he has to juice everything?
Oh yeah, especially for the first couple months, he probably definitely was sipping from the side through a straw and shit.
Yeah. Well, Roman, of course, the whole reason why Roman's on TV tonight is he has to reveal the consequences of the Hell in the Cell I Quit match. Which, for one, listen, the idea that we're going to have an I Quit match inside Hell in the Cell, I don't know why we haven't done it yet. Because they really seem to complement each other.
At first I was like, is it really an I Quit match? But then I thought, like, that's the perfect space. There's no one can get in. It's just you and him. It's you got to quit. There's nothing else you can do about it. It's either you quit or you don't leave the fucking cage. It's you're right. It's like a perfect. It's like peanut butter and jelly. Like
Jimmy, not Jimmy. Well, excuse me. Yeah, Jimmy. Well, it appears Jay appears on the Titantron in Roman's office, eating his food. He's wearing a hat and mask. He's talking trash about his food. However, when he removes his hat and mask, it's revealed that it's actually Jimmy Uso. He then informs Roman that Jay's standing right behind him, and Jay blasts him, beats down Roman, hits him with a splash. Him and Jimmy celebrate on top of the ramp, in which case Roman comes to, because Roman obviously is like the Jason Voorhees of SmackDown. Like the most you're going to get that man down for is like 5 seconds.
At least they're consistent with it. That's the part I'm not mad at.
Yeah.
If he's that way as a face, he needs to be that way as a heel too. Like
it's true. Yeah, that is very true. But Roman finally lays out the consequences. It's something we all kind of expected. Is Roman for one says that, you know, if I lose, I'm not the face of the company, I'm not the head of the table, I can live with that. You know, he says, but if you lose, Jay, you have to do my bidding. You gotta acknowledge me as the tribal chief. You essentially are going to become my henchman, and along with Jimmy, because Jimmy's wrapped up in all of this now too. And he says,
begging for this the entire time.
Yeah. But he says, if you guys refuse, you're out of the family. But not only that, your wives are out of the family. Your kids are out of the family. We won't acknowledge you no more. Financially, we won't support you no more. You're not coming to the barbecues. You know, you're not coming to the luau's.
Whatever the fuck we're doing as a family, you're not invited.
You're off the family mailing list. There's no more Christmas cards.
I've been wondering. Like, I'm glad. I like this too, because you know Roman's definitely winning, and they're going to be reluctant, and then it's going to come to that point where they're just full on the bloodline.
Hey, we're winning. Everybody here is making money.
Right.
You know.
Like I said, you know they're going to have that. They're going to play off that. They're reluctant to do it. He's probably going to have them, whoever his next opponent is, he's probably going to sick them on them and shit. And, like, he'll probably kick the dude's ass and then make them, like, finish them off. And, you know, they're going to have that, like, we don't want to do it type shit. And then he tells them, like, do it or y'all done. And we're gonna get that for a little bit, maybe a month or so, and then eventually they're gonna come around, and that's when the real shit pops off.
Well, I think it'll come down to when they have an opportunity to betray Roman.
Right.
Like that's when it'll come down. We finally have a babyface about to conquer Roman. They have a chance to let it happen, and they choose to save him. Yeah.
That's definitely gonna. But you might as well just book that shit.
Yeah.
It wrote itself.
I think honestly, you know what's funny is I think they did the same thing with Brie and Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella turned heel on Brie and they had a match. It was when they did the controversial line like "I wish you died in the womb."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The worst fucking line ever. Yeah.
Yo, and then Brie Bella had to be Nikki's like assistant for a month, in which she was, I remember correctly, Brie got like humiliated. Like I think she had like water or milk like dumped on her. Yeah. But then at the end of the month, she just was like, screw it. I'm with Nikki now.
The only thing that I'm not like, I'm down with it because I think all heel champions should have henchmen and shit and everything. But if there's like, in the freezer, babe, there's like no one else to really like go against him. Like who's going to be his next opponent? Freezer.
Yeah. Are you talking about Roman?
Yeah.
I mean, you got, like I said, you have who's over on Smack. I mean, you got Braun. Rumor, I hate to say it, rumor has it you got Goldberg in the wings next year.
I thought Braun was back on Raw.
Where did Dabba-Kato end up?
I think he stayed on Raw too.
No, because I remember they split up Braun and Dabba-Kato.
I'm not gonna argue with you. I don't know. The draft was asked to me. I didn't pay.
Yeah. Or no. They split Lars and Braun. No, you're right. Braun's over on Raw. It was Lars and Braun that got split up. Dabba-Kato stayed on Raw. That's right. Yep. Yeah, because you have the Keith Lee and Braun Strowman feud that's about to go down.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, see, I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah, my bad, man. My bad.
But that's there. Everybody's heels and everybody's mid card.
Well, so you got who? So you got Roman and obviously you got Jay. Who's the other big names on SmackDown, man?
Seth and Daniel Bryan. That's it.
Seth, yeah, Daniel Bryan. Oh man, I'd love to see Seth trying to conquer Roman, but you'd have to turn him face, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Kevin Owens, Aleister Black, Matt Riddle in the chat right now is naming off everybody.
I think that you should kick Seth down to the Intercontinental and kick Daniel Bryan up to the championship.
Yeah. No, yeah, it is. There's a couple like top tier mid card faces that are all just going to be lambs to the slaughter.
Start moving people up, like they said, fucking Big E and
Big E. Yes, he'll be. Yeah, that's I think where they're building it. Yeah,
I think they're going to save that though.
You have to.
I think they're going to save that either for Royal Rumble or maybe even WrestleMania.
Yeah, it'll be good, man. It'll be good. But anyways, that was the show. Let us know if you liked it in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. Hit us up on Twitter at SmackDrawPod. Of course, you have mine and RN's handles down there. If you didn't know they were Twitter handles, I added the little Twitter icon next to them for the show. But like always, you guys, man, thank y'all for watching. And until next time, y'all have a good one.
Peace out, y'all.